Building a website is not the same as building a business. In this series, I'm walking through how I build a business website from the ground up. My focus is spiritual entrepreneurs, healers, coaches, intuitives, because that is the space I work in now. But the process applies to any business. The industry changes, not the structure, because building a website is not the same thing as building a business. A website can look beautiful and still have no strategy, no clear path, no search visibility, no monetization, and no system behind it. That is what we are changing here. This is the business matrix. For those of you that have followed me for a long period of time, you are used to this kind of content. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe to the playlist, because if you follow along, by the time we are done, you can easily duplicate my processes and have a new skill set. I promise you that. I am building a new business from scratch. This is way more than building a website. I am building a full business system. Let's get into it. Before we build the website, we need to know what questions my audience is already asking. For this series, I'm using spiritual entrepreneurs as the example, the niche. So the questions are not random. Possible questions could be, how do I build a spiritual business online? How do I build a website for my tarot reading business? How do I build a website for my astrology services? How do I add a booking form to my website? How do I take payments for sessions online? How do I sell digital downloads on my website? What pages does my spiritual business website actually need? How do I automate emails after someone books with me? Those questions matter because they tell us what the website needs to answer. They shape the content, the page structure, the image names, the categories, the offers, and the system behind the business. This is why research becomes so important before we actually build. Because if you skip the questions, you're just building pages. You're not building a business system. Once we know the questions, we can start building the structure. This is where SEO, AI overviews, answer engines, generative search, and search intent come in. We are not guessing what the website should say. We are looking at the questions people are already asking and using that information to decide what pages need to exist, what each page should answer, what the categories should be, and how the website should be organized. For example, if people are searching how to book tarot readings online, that tells us we may need a clear service page, a booking flow, payment setup, FAQs, and content that answers that question. If people are searching how to sell spiritual downloads, that tells us we may need a product pages, checkout, delivery automation, and email follow-up. The search tells us the structure. That is the difference between building a website and building a system. A website cannot speak clearly if you do not know who it is speaking to. For this series, my focus is on spiritual entrepreneurs. That could include tarot readers, astrologers, mediums, intuitive guides, healers, spiritual coaches, energy workers, or anyone building a business around their spiritual work. But the method itself applies to any business. You have to know who you are talking to before you decide what the website should say, what pages should exist, and what actions people need to take. This is where we look at the actual person on the other side of the search. What do they need? What are they confused about? What are they afraid of? What do they already understand? What needs to be explained clearly before they trust the next step? A customer persona is not just a cute marketing exercise. It tells us how to speak to the person who is already looking for help. The website should never be a random collection of pages. The pages should support the offers. Before the build, we need to understand what the business actually sells or could sell. That may include sessions, services, readings, consultations, downloadable products, paid resources, workshops, courses, memberships, or other digital offers. This is where we start looking at the value of the work and the ways that value can be turned into clear offers. Once the research, audience, questions, and offers are clear, the website structure starts to make sense. Now we can decide what pages need to exist. We can map the home page, service pages, product pages, booking flow, legal pages, email capture, content structure, and next steps. The website is no longer just a digital brochure. It becomes the system that helps people find you, understand you, trust the work, and know what to do next. I build with WordPress because it gives the business ownership, flexibility, and room to grow. Not to mention, I've been using WordPress since the beta version. If I tell you when that is, my age will show. I do not use any random themes or templates. All design elements are custom made for a reason. For this series, I'm working with plugins like Elementor, Rank Math, Fluent Booking, Fluent Forms, FluentCRM, FluentCart, Fluent Community, and Stripe. And I will explain the exact reason why I use the Fluent stack in a later video. The point is not to collect random plugins. The point is to choose the right tools for the system we are building. WordPress gives us the foundation to build a website that can handle content, SEO, bookings, payments, products, email, automation, very important, and community without boxing the business into someone else's platform. I use Elementor Pro because I can create custom layouts and templates instead of forcing the business into a pre-built theme. This matters because the website should be built around the business, the offer, the audience, and the user path. We are not just picking a theme and changing colors. We are creating the design structure, page layout, visual flow, and templates that support the actual business. The design should make the business easier to understand, not just prettier to look at. A website is not only what people see on the front end, the back end matters too. Booking forms, intake forms, contact forms, payments, email lists, CRM tools, plugins, automations, legal pages, articles, and client flow all determine whether the business is easy to run or slowly draining your energy. This is where the system starts doing some of the work for you, because you should not be manually handling tasks that your website, forms, emails, payments, and automations can handle. Tiny administrative wounds are still wounds, annoying but true. A business website should also show where money can be made. This is not only about one-to-one sessions. Depending on the business, the website may support services, digital downloads, paid resources, workshops, courses, memberships, subscriptions, one-time offers, or other monetization paths. The goal is to build income paths that match the work, the audience, and the energy of the person behind the business, which is you. The website should not only explain what you do, it should support how the business actually makes money. This is the business matrix. It is the process of building the online structure around the business. Research, questions, search intent, target market, customer persona, offers, website structure, WordPress, Elementor, SEO, design, backend systems, payments, products, automation, and monetization all working together. We are building the structure that helps the business function. That is what this playlist is all about. If you want to learn how to think through the build, follow the series. And if you want me to build the system around your business, you can book a business matrix session. Link is in the description.